here on this somewhat cloudy, somewhat sunny Sunday morning here on my roof at my apartment. Gonna run through current events, I guess I would fucking say. Just gonna go read off some fucking bloody elbow headlines and react to them. Give you guys some quality content to enjoy on your Sunday afternoon. And today, if you can tell, I brought all my energy to do this pod, to do this current events breakdown. The energy is high today, very high. Actually, I've had to retake this video twice because the first time I was just too ecstatic, and I went back and checked the audio. I was just talking way too loud, practically screaming. But nonetheless, we've got it toned perfectly. Fucking maximum effort. With that being said, let's get right into the current events. Like I'm fucking National Geographic in this motherfucker. What do we got?
Moicano suffered horror injury midway through dominating UFC Paris victory.
Okay, so speaking on the horrid injury that Moicano suffered, I read today, just before I started doing this, that it was not a midway injury, that he had actually had this injury for 3 weeks before the fight and just didn't want to pull out because he was main event and Moicano needs money. It seemed to be his clavicle had completely dislocated or popped out of place. I read that in some instances that may cause pain, and in some instances you may be pain-free. Still pretty fucking badass of him to fight with this shit like that. I'm sure mid-fight it flared up, and that's what everybody thought was a mid-fight injury, but he had this 3 weeks prior to the fight. And unlike Conor with his hurt pinky toe, had the fucking cojones to actually walk out there and still have a fucking fist fight with another grown-ass man, despite his clavicle being completely dislocated. I mean, hey, I don't know how he didn't get fucking a bonus last night, a performance, fight of the night, nothing. But I think Moicano should have got a little more money than what he did, especially knowing this, that he went out there with a dislocated clavicle, which is fucking insane. Needless to say, big ups, fucking Money Moicano. What do we got next?
MMA fighter who struggled to the scales and missed weight for UFC Paris.
You're talking the twerker? The fucking tweaker? Perfect. If you guys realize, I previewed every single, not previewed, but reacted to every single fight on UFC Paris, except for, what's her name, Eileen
Perez.
Eileen Perez, the twerker, and you know who I'm talking about. So, this girl got into a Twitter beef with Tracy Cortez on Twitter, where everybody's got their little fucking Twitter thumbs all fucking going, about how, what did Tracy say? Tracy said something first. Tracy tweeted to her and said, fuck. I think the OnlyFans will help make up for that 30% that you had to give up because of your weight loss. And Eileen responded saying, at least I didn't have to cut my hair and lose. But here's the thing. Tracy Cortez was fighting Thug Rose. You guys know who that is, right? Because everyone knows who the fuck that is. She's a former champ, soon possibly to be two-weight champ, okay? She's kind of on a tear here at 25 now, and we'll see what happens. But Tracy Cortez was called on short notice to fight a former champ and a MMA superstar, essentially. Thug Rose is top of the freaking pile in women's MMA, okay? And Tracy, since she signed the contract, the contract is more to say you're going to show up this day on this weight, more than just a fight. The scale is more of a problem for these fighters than the actual walkout to the cage. But Tracy signed an agreement saying that she would come in at this specific weight, which is with the 1 pound grace limit, 126 pounds. Now, Tracy cut her hair to do that because she fucking, like an adult, agreed to something and then followed through with what she agreed to. Fucking Eileen Twerker girl, who had a full camp to prepare and diet down to get into fucking shooting range with the water cut, still could not fucking do it. Let alone she wants to talk shit about a woman who actually successfully did it. Is fucking wild to me. I mean, this girl is so ugly that if she had hair or no hair, it wouldn't really fucking matter. If I was her and I was 0.5 off, I would have had 0.5, half a pound. And she didn't try to take off, she didn't use the towel and take off her clothes. I mean, it's not much, but the clothes that she has on, they weigh something. Probably 0.2 something, 0.3. That's halfway to what you fucking missed. Let alone you cut off your fucking hair, you look like a dog regardless. So I don't know if shit-talking Tracy Cortez was the right move there. Because, I don't know, I tend to check the comments on things, and most of the comments did side with Tracy Cortez, not this twerker tweaker from fucking Ghost Shed. And here's another thing, Ghost Shed really only cares about making viral moments. They care more about the social media than they do the actual fights. I think they have a lot of regional level fighters that are good, that have somehow social media'd their way into the UFC by shaking their ass or other forms of fucking self-deprecation. But we have yet to see one of these fighters really show us something, except for maybe the Jillian girl. I don't know her name. Jillian something. She got the red hair. She's a Canadian girl. She is from the gym, but I think has since switched gyms. I'm not sure. But either way, shout out Eileen OnlyFans. What's next?
Merab offers Sean an immediate rematch for UFC 309.
So, Merab offering Sean an immediate title rematch following their UFC 306 sphere. Instantly that night, Merab was already hopping on the I don't want to fight Umnar. And I'm saying Umnar because that's how Sean says it. I know his name's Umar. Umnar is funny, okay? And if you're not in this sport to fucking make jokes, why are you here? Is it all fucking respect and blah, blah, blah? No, I'm here to fucking make light of these fucking fighters who may or may not have autism, such as Merab. So, I'm not sure what I was saying, but what I am saying now is that Merab has been ducking Umnar since night one. And what better way to do that than to call out someone who you just already beat to fight again? I mean, this guy is a fucking marketing genius. Why would I fight someone harder if I could fight someone easier? And since I have the belt, I'm going to be getting pay-per-view money, pay-per-view buys on this. Merab's probably only going to get 4 cents a buy because no one knows who he is. But other than that, who's going to sell more, Umnar or Sean? Like, this is Merab's big payday. When you get the belt and you get pay-per-view buy shares, that's when you get fucking paid in this sport. So Merab's probably thinking, I can get way more pay-per-views with a rematch with Suga than I can losing my belt to Umar. So why the fuck would I not do that? Even though it's anybody, anywhere, anytime, until it actually is anybody, anywhere, anytime. And then it's not. So, I mean, shout out Merab. That's what I would try to fucking do. I would just take the easiest fucking fight possible for the most amount of money, get my money, and dip. But, you know, Umnar's on his way, Merab, and you are going to have to fight him. And you're probably not going to get paid that much because a title fight between Merab and Umnar is just not going to fucking sell to the general public. But I get where your head's at, man. So, shout out Merab. What's next?
Volkanovski responds to Diego Lopez UFC 310 fight offer.
I didn't know anything about this. Volk responding to Lopez about a UFC 310 fight offer.
So Volk isn't willing to fight Diego Lopez in a number one contender fight.
I mean, Volk is going to sit back and try to fight for the belt. I really fucking hate how nowadays, if you lose the belt to somebody but you defended the belt twice, you just automatically like assume a rematch is guaranteed. I think no matter what, unless there's a significant amount of controversy, not even Sean and Drickus, like that fight was close. A lot of people thought Sean won, including Dana, but even with that, I think Sean should have to go fight someone else before he comes. I hate all the immediate rematches. It just slows up the division. It really puts a freaking confusing track onto who's next for the belt. Everybody's always waiting because they had it and they lost it. There was no controversy when Ilya, I can't say that word right, controversy. Ilya starched Volk. There was no question about who was the better fighter that night. It was not even close. So Volk's gonna sit back, typical champion, just wait for a title fight. I mean, you guys get so pissed at Colby. Well, Colby never even had the belt, and somehow he still did it. But all these people, Izzy and Volk, and whenever they lose the belt, Sean Strickland, they just want to sit back and wait for another title fight. Get your ass out there and fight somebody. So Volk not taking that is pretty stupid. Not to mention that Diego is now the backup fighter for Max and Ilya. And the unwritten rule about the backup fighter is they're always next. If you come, you make weight for the backup fighter position, and you don't end up fighting, which most of the time they don't, you are in fact next in line for that title shot. I don't know why Volk wouldn't fight this guy. If Volk's, if Volk still feels like Volk, if he thinks he can win the title, he might as well take this guy out before he has to fight him for the title. I don't know. I would say that's a bad look on Volkanovski, but it's the name of the game. It's what most people do here. After losing a title, they just wait until they can fight for another one. And then they end up waiting for, how long has Volk been waiting and gonna be waiting for this? A year plus, 2 years? I mean, that's another fight, a big payday for you. And you only have so long in this game. You're going to age yourself out. Volk's already up there, close to quitting time. So we'll see what fucking happens. But I would favor Diego Lopez in a fight if they did end up fighting. What do we have next?
Nick Diaz versus Vicente Luque reportedly rescheduled for massive showdown at UFC 310.
Okay, so I think 310 is December, because 309 is November with Jones and Stipe. So they said that apparently Vicente and Nick, which was supposed to be for Abu Dhabi fight night, was rescheduled. Nick fell out of that because of travel visa issues or something, I remember. But now the fight has been rescheduled. I don't think anyone's really excited to see that fight. We saw Nick's last performance against Robbie Lawler where he did the crazy ass jumping fucking kick. I don't even know what you call it. Jumping side kick to open up the bout. And then he essentially just quit. He didn't tap out. He just fucking gave up mid-fight. I'm not sure. It was quite weird. A lot of rumors speculating that Nick had money issues and needed a payday. I love Nick Diaz. But, brother, if you're not actually in this, we don't need to see you go out there just to get a paycheck. Especially against Vicente Luque. When the UFC could pair him up against Tony Ferguson or Michael Chiesa or somebody up there in age that's kind of around the same level as him. I would say Vicente's not in title contention, and hasn't quite been there. But he's still a contender. I think he's I don't know if he's top 10. I'm sure he's top 15. For Nick to have all these years off, be screwed by the UFC so hard like he did, or the Athletic Commission, whatever, and come back and need money and maybe want to fight, and they just keep serving him up to... I mean, the Robbie Lawler, that was a good matchup. I enjoyed that. That made sense. We obviously know what happened there, but come back and fight one of these guys who are still hungry, still, still climbing the ladder is kind of fucked up. Nick, we don't need to see you that bad. If you want to just start a pod, we'll all come tune in there and buy your merch. You don't need to fight again, brother. But anyway, hopefully that is just a rumor. What do we got next?
Khalil Roundtree is going to whoop him. MMA legend insists Alex Pereira will lose via KO at UFC 307.
So, MMA legend, I know who that is. It's Chael. Chael has been shouting from the rooftops that Khalil Roundtree will, in fact, kick Alex Pereira's ass. Now, I see where Chael is coming from, because Khalil Roundtree does his best work when someone's charging at him throwing strikes, which is not per se Alex Pereira, but Alex is not afraid to throw and miss, just to land that one. Khalil's Roundtree? That's gay. Khalil's fucking Muay Thai background is somewhat impressive for a big ass guy like him, a 205er. Muay Thai guys are usually on the smaller side. But Khalil is a big ass dude with some impressive kicks, impressive knees, and like I said, he does his best work backing up and catching you with the fucking quick Thai knee or quick Thai elbow. He can crack too. I mean, as much as Alex can fucking crack, Khalil can fucking hit hard. I think he's got 4 knockouts in his last 5 fights or something like that. I'm picking Alex Pereira for sure. I just think, like I said in the video, this guy doesn't even need to... And he just had surgery on his fucking knee that had got tweaked in the Jan Blachowicz fight. So however long ago he fought Jan Blachowicz, which was 1 fight before he fought for the belt at light heavyweight, ever since then, that means he fought Jiri for the belt with a fucked up knee. He fought Jamal defending the belt with a fucked up knee. And then he fought Jiri again with a fucked up knee. This will be Alex Pereira's 3rd title defense in a fucking year or something. It's absolutely fucking insane. This guy comes from kickboxing. When you're a kickboxer, they just fight 5, 6, 7 times a year. It's normal for him, and he was a 2-weight world champ in kickboxing. So it's nothing for him to go up and down the scale and fight this and then that. Chael has a fucking tendency to put curses on fighters. Anytime Chael says you're gonna win, usually legend has it, you're not gonna win. But we shall see what happens. I'm going Alex Pereira. What's next?
What do you think about Kayla Harrison's weight cut?
Kayla Harrison's weight cut. I think that there's a finite amount of times that she's going to be able to make this 135 pound. Right now, she can even make 136 since it's not for a belt. And that 1 pound does fucking matter when you're that far into a weight cut. Especially as big as she is. She competed in the Olympics, I believe, at 171 pounds or 170 pounds. I'm sure that there's not a day that goes by where this girl's not hungry and starving, because just to get into shooting range for the water cut, she has to diet. I can't imagine if she weighs in at 135, before the cut she weighs any more than 155, which is still a massive, massive water cut. But for her to naturally weigh 155 without the cut has got to take an extreme amount of discipline, and I'm not sure how long you can keep that up. before your body just tells you to fuck off, okay? Because, listen, UFC always had a fucking 145-pound division, but they had stars. They had Ronda, they had Kat Zingano, they had Gina Carano, they had Miesha Tate, all these bigger girls, Cyborg, Amanda Nunes. But now all of those are gone. Kayla would have fit in perfectly into the division, and I think Kayla would have been undefeated. I think Kayla would have whooped all those girls. But now, since the UFC has got rid of that division, she's forced to cut this crazy amount of weight, get down to 136. When it is for a belt, she's going to have to make 135, which we've seen her do. She did a UFC 300. I was super impressed. That's what I thought was going to get her. I thought she wasn't going to be able to beat that scale, but here we are, proved wrong again. It takes a lot of mental fucking fortitude and dedication to be able to do what she's doing. I just don't know how long she can do that for. I don't know why she's not fighting for a belt now. She's fighting insert name that I don't care about. But I thought she should be fighting Raquel, not Juliana. Juliana's freaking loudmouth and annoying as fuck. Every time she talks, I just want to fucking stab my fucking eardrums out. But anyway, needless to say, she will be fighting for the belt next with a victory here at 307 next Saturday.
Mike Tyson claims Dana White will be the best thing to happen to boxing following the UFC CEO's recent admission.
Yeah, so recently, I believe it was the Callum Walsh card or something like that. Callum's been Dana's kid forever. Dana's been promoting this kid. Really the only boxer that Dana does promote. But ever since a while ago, I don't even want to say the date wrong, 2012 or before, Dana's been, talking about Zuffa boxing, which would be essentially UFC dipping their toes into boxing as promoters. And it had a lot of pop, but then the subject died down quite a bit and was essentially non-existent for the last 4 years. Since COVID, there has been no talk about Zuffa boxing or Dana in boxing or none of that. Dana finally just said that you've never heard him commit to boxing, and then he goes on to say, well, now I'm committed, whatever, blah, blah. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know what that would even look like. I'm not sure. And I know that there's this, Dana doesn't like the MMA guys boxing, okay? Because it's two different fucking sports. It's like racing motocross and then going to do like the fucking, I don't know what it's called, super fucking, the crazy crotch rockets that go 3,000 miles an hour and then you go ride dirt bikes. Like, you're both on a motorcycle, but it's two different fucking things. MMA, boxing, two completely different fucking things. So I 100% guarantee that it has nothing to do with MMA UFC fighters going and boxing. I believe that Dana will just be going out and finding his own prospects and promoting them, such as Eddie Hearn or Bob Arum or whoever the fuck. But Dana seems to be the best fight promoter on the planet. Look at the UFC, look at boxing. I mean, there's a clear number one there in today's generation, and it's not boxing. So for Dana to dip his feet in there, that would be cool. I'm with it. Still not a big boxing guy, but maybe Dana could change my mind. I don't know. We'll have to see. What's next?
What'd you think about Brian Battle's
Brian Battle.
fight?
Brian Battle. So that was fucking awesome. Brian got his ass whipped in the first round. I mean, it was not looking good. And he came out looking like fucking North Carolina Charles Oliveira. Fucking hilarious. I mean, bro, when they first put him on the camera, I thought it was Charles Oliveira. I was like, why the fuck is this guy here? Anyway, he goes out in the second round and just fucking sleeps this guy. And the whole French crowd, which was a bunch of fat fucking soy boy cucks, were fucking sitting there. Dude, they couldn't even stand up and flip him off because they had their fucking nachos and Pepsi on their fucking fat ass stomach, just fucking flipping off Brian Battle. for absolutely no fucking reason. I mean, that other guy, the French dude, was coming out to fucking do exactly what Brian did to him, to Brian. So I don't know what the fucking hatred there was. I'm glad that Brian stood his ground. I would have done the exact same thing. I would have flipped them all off, got on the mic, and told them all to suck my American balls. Who the fuck likes French fries anyway? Just kidding. I like French fries. Needless to say, fuck the Frenchies, dude. I don't give a bollocks. Alright? If I go out there and fight a French guy and he fucking, dude, he damn near knocked out Brian Battle in the first round. Okay? This guy comes back, puts on a fucking show for y'all after all your French fighters fucking gave us boring ass fights before that, except for 2 people. And you guys have the audacity to not boo this kid and freaking all that fuck you. Dude, any one of you would get ragdolled within 30 seconds if you really want to talk that shit. That's what happens with social media nowadays, is people think that they can just say what the fuck ever to who the fuck ever. They don't realize that they're talking to a real ass motherfucker in Brian Battle. And this kid's from North Carolina. I'm sure that he's had a couple scraps that were unsanctioned in his day. Okay? I don't know. Bunch of French pussies. Needless to say, I heard that, and now I'm sure this is not true, but who the fuck knows? If you're not in America with free speech, who the fuck knows? The rest of the world sucks. That Brian Battle was fined $250,000. I find all of this extremely skeptical. I do not believe it, but who the fuck knows? Fined $250,000 and banned by the French Athletic Commission from ever returning to that arena or some shit. Participating in France? I'm not sure. Which is crazy because he walked out to Niggas in Paris, the song by A$AP Rocky. I mean, but they were in Paris, so I don't know why the fuck he wouldn't be able to walk out to that song. And then for screaming profanity at the French people, who were screaming profanity at him. Sounds like an unlikely scenario, but you know how these countries are, and they will not let you say what you want to say. That's why, like Money Moicano says, I love America. Anyway, moving on. What do we got next?
Damn, that's a fast heel. UFC star Irene Aldana shows off insane scar from the worst cut in history. Suffered at Noche.
Yeah, like I said in the other video recapping Noche, that cut from Aldana had to be the worst cut I've ever seen in my viewing experience of this sport. Been watching for 10 years-ish, maybe 11 years now. And of course I've went back and I've gone through the Pride libraries and I've done all my history on this. I've never seen a cut like Aldana had. That was fucking crazy. And what's even crazier is the doctor let that fight continue. I'm not against it. I don't care. She stepped in there. She knows what it is. I just can't believe that the doctor stopped Benoit Saint Denis yesterday and let Aldana keep fighting. Now, I do understand why. It's because Benoit couldn't see out of his eye. Irene could see out of both her eyes. I understand that, you fucking schmucks. Don't fucking come at me and say I don't know what I'm talking about. But that cut, every punch was just opening up more and more. And it was damn near from her hairline to just past her eye. She had one on her nose and one on this side of her eye. And I seen pictures. She looks incredible. But that cut is just probably always going to be noticeable, I would imagine. I mean, it's a 4.5 inch laceration up and down on her forehead. When you squint, you have wrinkles on your forehead. They run fucking lateral, not fucking horizontal. So I can't imagine that it's going to heal 100%, but who knows? It might. I have a scar here that you can barely see, which is, like I was saying, horizontal. But UFC probably has the best plastic surgeons, the best doctors. So hopefully that cut will go unnoticed, but I just can't imagine that it will.
Is it horizontal like this and this is vertical? You said this was horizontal.
Lateral. And horizontal, I said horizontal. Fuck. Okay, so lateral is this and vertical is this. Shut the fuck up, dude.
Horizontal. Horizontal is like this.
Lateral.
Vertical is like this. Lateral?
Yeah, laterale.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I'm just out here to be made a fucking fool.
Jake Paul's MMA debut confirmed as PFL boss Peter Murray, or whatever, doubles down on claims he will switch sport after Mike Tyson fight.
I don't know why we had to end on this one. I told her 2 more and she just had to bring up fucking Jake Paul. Jake Paul is not gonna fight MMA. It said that he's gonna switch after his Mike Tyson fight. I hope he goes to jail for the Mike Tyson fight. I mean, it's Sunday. We don't need to get all worked up about fucking Jake Paul. I'll say it here. He's not gonna fight MMA, and if he does, it'll be someone who you have no fucking clue who they are. It will not be a celebrity match like Mike and Jake. It'll just be Jake versus probably a 12-year-old girl, and he'll go out there and beat the fuck out of her and then celebrate on the octagon, hopefully fall off, break his neck, and rid us all of Jake Paul, because I can no longer stand to hear this fucking kid's stupid name anymore. Every time I see him on the damn fucking YouTubes, I want to smash my phone into the ground. He is just such a fucking idiot. I lose brain cells when I hear that kid talk. And imagine, you guys lose brain cells listening to me. Imagine what it does to me when I hear him. It's just a whole nother level of fucking dumb, okay? We're gonna leave it at that because I cannot stand talking about Jake Paul. You good, yeah? Nothing more? Well, that concludes our Sunday morning episode of Current Events here on El Güero Logo National Geographic Podcast. I will be coming at you later this week with a UFC 307 preview. I saw the fight card yesterday on the commercials, whatever you want to call, from the UFC Paris, and got some decent fights on there. I know that we got Raquel and Juliana, so that'll be a nice little smoke break between that. Oh, let's see, we got it right here. Okay, so top of the list, we got Pereira Roundtree for the light heavyweight title. Then we have the women's bantamweight title, Raquel and Juliana. After that, we got Jose Aldo and Mario Batista. After that, we got Caitlin Vieira and Kayla Harrison. After that, we got Roman Dolidze and Kevin Holland. So a pretty good night. Nothing crazy. I like the Kevin Holland-Dolidze matchup. I'm excited to watch Kayla, of course. Maybe Jose can beat another guy. I don't know. Retired, not coming back, and I don't know what the fuck we're doing here. This is what happens. These fucking guys, they just can't find anything else in their life that gives them the same feeling as fighting, and then they end up fighting way too long. But if Jose can win, I mean, I'm just some dumbass on a roof talking shit with my camera. The Raquel and Juliana fight, I do not care about. If Kayla was fighting one of them, I would care. But since she's not, I do not care. And then, of course, Alex Pereira, Khalil Roundtree. I wouldn't say Khalil is undeserving, but I would say it is a little strange of a matchup, especially since we had Magomed Ankalaev, who I thought was a clear number one contender, is now fighting Rakic. I'm not sure what the fuck is that, but imagine if Magomed loses to Rakic and then they give the next title to Rakic. That would be fucking funny. A big old middle finger to Magomed Ankalaev. I don't know if they're still mad at him over that draw between him and who the fuck was that? Jan Blachowicz? But clearly they're giving this guy the middle finger. Subtly. Subtly. Anyway, that's fucking it. Cuero out.